You know, sometimes for our children, there is not a more dreaded time of the day than night. Because children come to understand pretty quickly that when the lights go out outside and the lights go out inside, it means bed is not far behind. I remember when my kids were growing up, especially through their toddler years, they just absolutely loved to play. They played outside. They played inside. They ran in the yard. They ran in the house. So active. But as we began to settle them down for the nights, they would just dread the night. For one thing, they knew a bath was not far behind. Beyond bath was bed. How many times I remember this routine? We'd kneel down, we'd say our night-night prayers. Oh, Dad, just one more bugle. Dad, just one more drink. Dad, what about a story? On and on. They just dreaded the night because they knew that when the lights go out, they sometimes got scared and they felt afraid. Well, I guess they get that honest. When I was a kid growing up, my dad was always the last one to bed. My room would be completely dark except for one light that would shine in the closet. As long as that light was on, I felt fine. I felt safe. But when the TV went off in the den, I knew my dad would come in, check my covers, and then turn that light out. And I would feel so alone. The truth is, the Christian life, there are times of darkness. I don't know about you, but when a storm comes at night, it just sounds more ferocious. A fire seems to do more destruction when it strikes at night. An earthquake feels more intense when it comes at night. Likewise, sickness seems to go on forever at night. Grief seems more debilitating in the dark. Loneliness more intensified. But believe it or not, I read in the Bible this morning something that really arrested my attention that I had to share with you. In the book of Exodus, chapter 20, it says that Moses drew near to the thick darkness where God was. As much as it feels like we're alone in the dark, in the darkness, that is where God is. The book of Isaiah, God says to Cyrus, I'm going to show you treasures of darkness. Did you know there are some things that you cannot see except in the darkness? The stars, I'm told they shine 24 hours a day, but you can't see them until it gets dark. And there are things about God and His grace and His mercy that you can only see when things get dark. Likewise, there are some things you can't really appreciate until you have been in the darkness. I read an old Adrian Rogers sermon one time where he talked about this painter, a guy that wanted to paint a masterpiece that would always be remembered. When he finished it, after months and months and months, he called one of his best friends to be the first one to see it. But before he took him in the room to see it, he took him into a completely dark room and left him there quite uncomfortably for several minutes. And finally, brought him in to look at the painting. The guy went on and on. Oh, how beautiful this masterpiece is. But why did you leave me in the dark? And the answer was, the artist said, because you still had the glare of the street on you. And I wanted you to get the glare of the street off so you could really appreciate this work. Likewise, sometimes God takes us through the darkness to get the glare off. Here's my word of encouragement. The same God that leads us beside still waters and makes us to lie down in green pastures sometimes takes us through valleys. And it's even as dark as the valley of the shadow of death. But just ahead, there is a table prepared before you. There is a cup running over, and there is a fresh anointing that is going to come. Bottom line, your darkness is not unusual. Your darkness is unfruitful, is not unfruitful. So take courage. God is in the darkness. He works the night shift.